Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Canto 10th, Chapter 13th, Text 25. Go Gopinam Matrutasmin Asit Snehardikam Vina Purovad Ashu Api Hares Tokata Mayaya Vina Go Gopina Matrutasmin Asit Snehardikam Vina Purovad Ashu Api Hares Tokata Mayaya Vina Go Gopina Matrutasmin Asit Snehardikam Vina Purovad Ashu Api Hares Tokata Mayaya Vina. Go Gopina Matrutasmin Asit Snehardikam Vina Vad Ashu Api Hares Tokata Mayaya Vina. Go Gopina Matrutasmin Asit Snehardikam Vina Purovadashu Api Hares Tokata Mayaya Vina. Matajis. Go Gopina Matrutasmin Asit Snehardikam Vina Purovadashu Api Hares Mayaya Vina. Translation. Previously, from the very beginning, the gopis had motherly affection for Krishna. Indeed, their affection for Krishna exceeded even their affection for their own sons. In displaying their affection, they had thus distinguished between Krishna and their sons. But now that distinction disappeared. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The distinction between one's own son and another's son is not unnatural. Many elderly women have motherly affection for the sons of others. They observe distinctions, however, between those other sons and their own. But now the elderly gopis could not distinguish between their own sons and Krishna. For since their own sons had been taken by Brahma, Krishna had expanded as their sons. Therefore, their extra affection for their sons, who were now Krishna himself, was due to bewilderment resembling that of Brahma. Previously, the mothers of Sridama, Sudama, Subal and Krishna's other friends did not have the same affection for one another's sons. But now, the gopis treated all the boys as their own. Shukdev Goswami therefore wanted to explain this increment of affection in terms of Krishna's bewilderment of Brahma, the gopis, the cows and everyone else. Om Ajnantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yutha Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Chaitanyamishwaram Paramanandamadavam. Translation once again. Previously, from the very beginning, the gopis had motherly affection for Krishna. Indeed, their affection for Krishna exceeded even their affection for their own sons. In displaying their affection, they had thus distinguished between Krishna and their sons. But now, that distinction disappeared. Seek the blessings of all the devotees assembled here so that I can speak something for my purification and for the glorification of the Lord. Sanatana Goswami, in his Krishna Stava, he glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam. He says that Mad ek bandhu, mad sangi, mad guru, mad mahadhana, mad nistaraka, mad bhagya, mad ananda, namostute. He's saying that Srimad Bhagavatam is actually the only true friend, the only companion, the real asset and the only deliverer and a true fortune for everyone. A friend is one who is a true well-wisher, always desiring good for his fellow friend. So here Sanatana Goswami is referring Srimad Bhagavatam as the best friend. Srimad Bhagavatam as a best friend or bandhu is offering us the best friend, that is Krishna, to all of us. As Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Surudam Sarvadehinam. So Krishna is the only gift that Srimad Bhagavatam is offering to the whole world. Somebody was saying that friendship with Srimad Bhagavatam is sweeter than the honey, much greater than the money. It is, the friendship with Srimad Bhagavatam is smoother than silk and much whiter than the milk. And friendship with Srimad Bhagavatam is higher than any tower and stronger than any power. Therefore, please be my friend forever. How is it that Srimad Bhagavatam, the friendship with Srimad Bhagavatam is greater than or sweeter than honey? In fact, Bilvamangal Thakur explains that he's quoting this verse. Jive rasagye madhura priya tvam satyam hitam va paramam vadami avarnayesha madhuraksharani Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. He's saying that, oh my dear tongue, you are always looking to taste something sweet. Jive rasagye madhura priyatvam. Sweet is so dear to you. Satyam hitam va paramam vadami. I'll tell you the truth. What is the ultimate sweet that you can actually long for? This Madhura Akshar, Avarnayetam Madhuraksharani Govinda Damo Dharamadaveti. This beautiful syllables, Krishna, Govinda, Damodar, Madhav. Nothing can be as sweeter as these words. They are not simply the combination of alphabets, but they are themselves the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Emperor of all the sweetness. And Srimad Bhagavatam offers Krishna. That's why friendship with Srimad Bhagavatam is sweeter than even honey, greater than money, because Srimad Bhagavatam is actually priceless and it offers us Krishna, who cannot be purchased by money but can be purchased only by devotional service. It is smoother than the silk. The flow of entire Srimad Bhagavatam is so smooth. There is no confusion. There is no hindrance. The only flow that Srimad Bhagavatam is flowing towards is directing us towards Krishna. It is whiter than the milk. The friendship with Srimad Bhagavatam is whiter than the milk. It is so pure. Whoever comes in touch with Srimad Bhagavatam actually becomes purified. Higher than any tower, Srimad Bhagavatam takes us to greater heights. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. In fact, it is further explained that it is stronger than any power. Connection to Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because Srimad Bhagavatam connects us to all-powerful Krishna. Even the greatest power of this earth, say for example nuclear power, can destroy lot of bodies, but cannot destroy the ignorance, cannot destroy the material desires. But Srimad Bhagavatam has the power to destroy avidya and material desires. That's why it is stronger. The connection, the friendship with Srimad Bhagavatam is stronger than any power of this world. And even in this pastime, Brahma Vimohan Leela, we see that Krishna is demonstrating a very deep friendship with his cowherd boys and even calves. And Krishna's relation with his friends is far beyond the ordinary relationship or the so-called friendship of this world. Here all the parties are willing to extend, to go to any extent to give pleasure to each other. That's why there is a saying that what exactly relation means. Relation means to help without hesitation, to give without expectation, to care without limitation, and to remember even without communication. And here we see in this wonderful pastime how Krishna, because his relationship with his friends is so deep, so intimate, Krishna is willing to help, go out and extend himself, give himself and care and even remember. While he is searching for his friends and cows, he is constantly remembering them. This is a real friend, a real relationship in this world, where somebody is willing to care, to give himself and to help selflessly. And we'll see in this wonderful pastime a lesson how Krishna acts as a true friend or a companion, Suhridam Sarvadehinam, not only for his cowherd boyfriends, but for all the living entities of this world. I was just thinking that just as Brahmaji, he stole the innocent boys and the cows away from Krishna, similarly, the illusory potency of the Lord, Maya Shakti, is trying to steal away our budding consciousness away from Krishna moment to moment. There is something called as attention catching principle, where you are being caught, or it is called as catching us by catching our attention. That's what Maya does to us. The illusory energy is trying to distract us away from Krishna. I was just telling this even in last class, I think, that just as the weapons of mass destruction, they can destroy thousands of bodies, the weapons of mass distraction can destroy thousands of minds. And media specifically acts as the weapons of mass destruction. Since all of us are seeking for happiness, but we don't know where that happiness lies, so our minds get distracted practically and get attracted to the object, the event, the experiences, and even the people. But when the newness of that experience fades away, mind reverts back to default distraction and again gets attracted to something else. And that attraction and distraction continues aimlessly and endlessly. And as a result, this distraction stops a living entity, or it destroys the living entity's capacity to go deep into anything and take shelter, especially Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10.41 that yat vibhuti mat sattvam shrimat urjitameva va tat eva vagachatvam mama tejo amsha sambhava. That whatever things we get attracted to in this world is nothing but a spark of His splendor. So all the attractive things of this world is nothing but a tiny spark, and Krishna is the complete whole. And this is beautifully explained by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. He explains that spark's potential to hold our attention is very short-lived, because it's just a spark. As a result, we get distracted again and again. But Krishna being the whole, complete, His potential to hold our attention is infinite. As a result, the attraction to Him is everlasting. So just as only Krishna could bring the cowherd, his friends and the cows back to His association, it is only Krishna and His remembrance who can bring our consciousness back, or bring our attention back on track. And Krishna in this pastime, He expands Himself, defeating the wonderful tricks of Brahma. Similarly, Krishna, in order to bring back our attention, expands Himself into various forms, such as this friend, real friend, Srimad Bhagavatam, soothing Harinam or holy name, enchanting deities, beautiful dhams, magnetizing kirtans, and of course His fulfilling services and a compassionate representatives. So once we are back on the track, that's when we can actually put our attention back on Krishna. Otherwise, constantly we'll be pulled by the distractions of this world. So before Maya catches us, we want Krishna to catch us. We want our consciousness to be caught by Krishna, for Krishna, of Krishna. And who can be a better friend than Krishna, who is willing to bring our consciousness back to His loving service. And this is a dilemma which a conditioned soul or a sadhaka always undergoes, that in spite of trying his best to walk on this path of selflessness, still he finds himself being tempted by this selfish material desires. And the very thought that in spite of the repeated endeavors, he has not yet gone beyond the temptation, might discourage him. But Bhagavad Gita, again Krishna comes as a refuge or a shelter to a discouraged sadhaka. From this verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita 5.23, where he says, Shaknoti eva yashodum prak sharir vimokshanat kama krododbhavam vegam sa yukta sa sukhinara. What does that mean? That as long as we are going to be in this body, there will be a chance that we may get succumbed to the vegas or temptation. But one very prominent thing comes up is that spiritual advancement does not really require us to be temptation free, but it really requires us to be transgression free. Temptation means thinking selfishly. Transgression means acting selfishly. So a stopper that stops us to move from temptation, that stops us to grow from temptation to transgression, is tolerance. And when Krishna expands in these wonderful forms as His holy name, Srimad Bhagavatam, absorption in these forms of Krishna helps us increase our tolerance level. And Srimad Bhagavatam specifically helps us increase our tolerance level by cultivating right type of knowledge. The knowledge that material world or the material pleasures are not only short-lived but counterproductive. Say for example, in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, a beautiful episode of Pingla comes. And she's saying that material pleasures are not only short-lived, but they are actually counterproductive. Santam samipe ramanam rati pradam vitta pradam nityam imam vihaya akamadam nitya akamadam dukkha bhayadi shokam moha pradam tuchab aham bhajegya. She's saying that I am looking for pleasure. I was looking for pleasures all over the world. But then I realized that actually real pleasures lies within Santam Samipe Ramanam Rati Pradam. And it is the Lord who can actually award me true pleasure. And in the search of happiness in the outside world, instead of happiness, what did I receive is Dukkha, Bhaya, Shoka and Moha. And the pleasure that I derived was so tuchya, so short-lived. So Srimad Bhagavatam, by reading these verses, it helps us increase our tolerance level by cultivating right type of knowledge. In fact, Pingla herself says, who can be a best friend than Krishna? Surut preshtatamo natho atma chayam shariram tam vikriyatma naivayam rame anena yatharama. Surut preshtatamo natho, that you are the one who can be a true best well-wisher and the only master worth serving. So this is what is a great gift of Srimad Bhagavatam. Is offering us the best friend, Surudam Sarva Bhutanam Krishna. And what Srimad Bhagavatam ultimately does, it takes a real life situation analyzes it philosophically and gives a pragmatic, universal, practical solution. And also a take-home message, a lesson for us to learn. Even this pastime that we are currently reading, these pastimes help us come up with so many wonderful lessons. One lesson that we can learn is Brahmaji is getting bewildered. So we, sadhakas, we may get bewildered that how come Brahma can get bewildered? Just by seeing Brahmaji getting bewildered, we may get that bewilderment. How come Brahmaji? How can Brahma commit a great offense? He is a Sampradaya Acharya. But how can he get into such bewilderment? So in order for our bewilderment to get cured, we need the intervention of the commentaries of Acharyas. Many situations in life bewilder us. Even certain instances, certain stories in Bhagavatam bewilders us. But then, when there is a right intervention of the Acharyas in the form of their commentaries, in the form of their purports, they actually help us come out of that bewilderment. So, Radhanath Maharaj in one of his lectures was saying that this pastime is nothing but an exchange of divine love between Lord Krishna and his devotee, Brahma. Brahma can never get bewildered. He can never come under the modes of material nature. It is only by the sweet will of the Lord that Brahma is apparently getting bewildered. And he went on to further saying that this entire material and the spiritual creation is nothing but the puppets in the hand of the Supreme Creator, Krishna. The non-devotees who are going away from the service of the Supreme Lord, they are actually puppets in the hands of Krishna's Maya, where the strings are the three modes of material nature. But for the devotees, they are being directly controlled. They are becoming the puppets in the hands of the Lord, where strings are the loving will of the Supreme Lord. So here Brahmaji is willing to humble himself in order to display the supremacy of the Supreme Lord and his position, that he is nobody in front of the Supreme Creator. Sometimes if we commit some mistake, we doesn't want somebody to even come to know. It's very embarrassing. We doesn't want even our neighbor to come to know. What to speak if our mistake comes in the headlines of the newspaper. And here, through Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole world is going to know Brahma's mistake. That Brahma tried taking panga with the Supreme Lord, and he was utterly bewildered. So Lord's devotee are in perfect harmony with the desire of the Lord. And here Brahmaji is willing to take that role of getting stumped or humbled. Another lesson that we can learn from this wonderful pastime is that even the greatest personality in all of the universe is nothing but an insignificant creature in compare to the Supreme Lord. Or what to speak of Supreme Lord, we are nothing even in compare to Lord's material nature or even the time factor. Here Brahmaji is having the highest birth, highest planet he is residing in, highest prestige. Is having the longest duration, longest lifespan. But what is his realization, what is his conclusion? Is that I am nothing but a glowworm in front of a brilliant, shining sun, O Lord. So if Brahmaji is saying like this, then who are we? In fact, it is explained that this universe is like a mustard seed in a bag of mustard seed. And this mustard seed is lying like a dot on the head of Anantadev. So if this universe is like a dot or a mustard seed, where do we lie in that universe? Where do we individual lie in that universe? practically our existence is negligence. So we are so insignificant that we don't even stand anywhere. What to speak of standing in front of the Supreme Lord and thinking, I am God. In fact, in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahmaji is himself praying to the Supreme Lord. He's saying, and the purport to this is very interesting. Brahmaji is saying, Natosmiham tad charanam samiyusham bhavachidam swasti ayanam sumangalam yohyatma maya vibhavam sma paryagad yatha nabha swantamatha parekuta. He's saying that it's best for me to surrender unto His feet, which alone can deliver one from the miseries of repeated birth and death. Such surrender is all auspicious and allows one to perceive all happiness. Even the sky cannot estimate the limits of his own expansion. So what can others do when Lord Himself is unable to estimate His own limits? Who can actually understand the Supreme Lord? And the purport to this is very interesting. Prabhupada writes that Brahma is known as Pitamaha, father's father. A young man will consult his experienced father about discharging his duties. And father is naturally a good advisor. But Brahma is the father of all the fathers. In fact, he is the father of the Manu, who is the father of the mankind, all over the universal planets. So definitely Brahma's insight or advice is best for all of us. Therefore, a man of this insignificant planet should kindly accept the instruction of Brahma and better surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord rather than trying to estimate the length and breadth of Lord's potency. Prabhupada is saying this planet is so insignificant. So where do we stand? Better humbly accept, honestly confess our position and humbly accept the instruction of Brahmaji. We all know that story of Brahmaji himself visiting Dwarka, and he's telling the doorkeeper, please tell Krishna that Brahma has come. And the doorman approaches Krishna and tells, my dear Lord, Brahma has come. And just casually Krishna is asking, which Brahma? And Brahma gets bewildered. Which Brahma? Is there any another Brahma apart from me? Tell him Brahma of this universe. And Krishna, when he hears, Krishna is saying, oh, four-headed Brahma. Call all other Brahmas. And that's when Brahmaji is himself one more time getting bewildered. And Prabhupada in that purport writes, for Krishna, four-headed Brahma is insignificant, to say nothing of the four-headed scientist. Of course, due respect to all the scientists, what to speak of scientists, even a pauper is proud, thinking himself to be so significant. There were two beggars who were discussing on the Dadar bridge. And one beggar was saying, I heard you are getting your son married. He said, yes. And I even heard that you are giving a great charity or a property to your son. He said, yes, of course. He said, what is that property you are giving? What do you have? He said, this entire Dadar bridge I am giving it to him. He said, just take it, use it where you want to go and beg. It's yours. So even the beggars, they take pride in begging. There's a group of friends who were going for a party in a car. And this girl told the mother that, Mom, I'm going for a party and I'll be coming late night. Mother said, please pray to God for your safety. And she said, what? Praying to God? I'll keep the God in the dicky, in the back seat, in the dicky of my car where I'm keeping all the eggs in the crates. And they just left. On the way, they met with a massive accident. Everybody died on the spot. The whole car got smashed, except for those crates of eggs. Not a single egg got cracked. Surprising. So it's only due to illusion that we think that we are great. We don't need God in our life. There's a beautiful statement by Radhanath Maharaj. He's saying that we are 1/10,000 of a tip of a hair, but still under illusion we think that I am great, or I think that I am great. But that same Jivatma, when he becomes great when he realizes how insignificant he is and how great God is. Great people always feel that they need the help of God desperately, although they don't. People who badly needs help think that or the people who badly needs help think that they are great. And even if they are defeated again and again by the material nature, even if they are humbled, still they don't become humble. This is their great misfortune. In fact, we all know this, Duryodhan, he never even allowed an umbrella to be held above his head, because he always thought that there is nobody superior to me. How can an umbrella, an insignificant umbrella, be above me? That's a nature of pride, or a person who is puffed up, intoxicating. In fact, who can be a better, or who can achieve a better success than Krishna's own friend Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? In fact, when Krishna left this world, he's saying, Vanchitoham Maharaja Harinam Harinam Bandhurupina Yename Apritam Tejo Deva Vismapanam Mahat. That all the power that I had was just because I was in touch with Krishna. Now that Krishna has left, that same Gandiva bow, that same bow has now stopped functioning. The bulbs that we see shining may appear to be shining very well, but if the bulb forgets that it has its connection with the source, and the moment that connection is switched off, all the bulbs, they stop shining. Or the diamonds that are hanging, if the diamond starts thinking that it's my reflection, or it's me who is shining, it's their misconception, because it's the light through that diamond which is reflecting and which is making that diamond shine. So that power is nothing but Lord's power. Whoever we are, whoever we may be, it may be taken at any moment. Gaur Gopal was saying this during this Prerna talk, that it's not wrong to succeed in life, to achieve success in life. But if that success is jailed with humility, then that's the perfection of one's service. along with this benediction or blessing, Vijay Bhava, we should be also asking for Vinay Bhava. Vijay means success, and because with success comes pride, so we should also be begging for the Lord to give us that humility to bear that success. In Ramayana, when Hanumanji was reminded by Jamvan that you can cross the ocean and go across the ocean to Lanka, Hanumanji started jumping. Hanumanji started boasting that yes, I will do it, I can do it. And it may appear that Hanumanji was becoming proud of his power. But then the next, it is mentioned, he's saying, Dasoham Kaushalendrasya. At one point he's saying that I'm servant, but at the same time he's dancing. I say, I can do it, I can do it. The next verse explains a wonderful analogy where Hanumanji is himself saying that when that I am like an arrow which is being shot towards its destination. But that arrow gets all his power from the bow. And bow gets all his power from that archer. Bow's existence is of no use unless and until it is used or it is being shot. The arrow's existence is of no use if it is not used by the bow. And he's saying that I am like that arrow of Lord Ram. And because Lord Ram is shooting that arrow, I am confident that Lord Ram's arrow can never fail. So I will never fail in my service to Lord Ram. So this is a gel or a combination of success and humility, where we actually think that all the act of ours is empowered by the blessings of spiritual master. One more lesson that we can learn, last lesson, I'll stop here, is Brahmaji thought that he's trying to trick Krishna. He's trying to humble Krishna. But in turn, it was Brahmaji who got tricked by Krishna. Brahmaji thought that I'll bowl this googly to Krishna and Krishna will be stumped. But with that same spin which Brahmaji tried, Krishna hit 6. And Brahmaji was surprised. How is it possible? So nowhere or nobody can ever think of tricking God. Hiranyakashipu tried tricking Brahmaji and Vishnu. He said, give me the benediction that I may not die and nobody can kill me, neither in the daytime or the night time, outside, inside, neither by any weapons. He thought, I have tricked. But then, little did he know the power of Lord Krishna, that Narsimhadev, Stambhe Sabhayam, na mrugam na manusham. Lord tricked Hiranyakashipu. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Dyutam chalayatam asmi, that I am the gambling of all the cheats. Prabhupada in that purport, he writes that of all the cheating processes, gambling stands supreme. Therefore, represents Krishna. And as supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man of this world. And if Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not only one-sided, but it is all-sided. Many of us sitting here may also agree to this fact that we all got tricked by Krishna. Nobody had, at least I had no plans coming here. But how we were tricked is still amusing, still surprising. We all had different plans made in our lives. Never we thought that one day we'll be standing in front of deities and praying intensely, dancing. But then it's the Lord's wonderful trick that He has played in our life. Because of that we are here. This one person, this many years back, who was in his office, and during this Ram Janma, this Babri Masjid incident, he was like shouting Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. So one of the devotees, he happened to see, maybe he seems to be a devotee of Lord Ram. So he went and approached him, and this person said, no, I don't want this book. I'm not a devotee. No, you read this book. You actually chanted Lord Ram's name. That means you have done a lot of piety in your life. You must read this book. So this devotee, he forcefully handed over this book to this person. And this person actually read that book and he liked it. And this person, he joined this devotee. Not only joined him, but he joined as a full-time devotee. His name is Sudhakar Nirmale, who is now our Sudama Prabhu. He still remembers. He says that it was the costliest joke that he ever made. He didn't expect that. Lot of stories, because we don't have much time to discuss. So it appears apparently that great souls, they're actually trying to trick us. Prabhupada says great souls cheat for great cause. Prabhupada calls it as transcendental fraud. Or as Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada said, Divya Chhal. So when devotees were distributing books in Bihar, in the coal mines, and those people who were drunk, they approached our devotees and said, we are so sorry, we really like this book, but we can't take this book because we have eaten meat, so we can't touch this book. Devotees were more expert. They said, don't worry, if you can't touch this book, we will give you this book in your plastic bag. You take this book, but at least read it. So this book distribution is nothing but a wonderful, transcendental trick of trying to bring conditioned souls back to the lotus feet of Krishna. In Ramayana, Lord Ram, when he was traveling in the forest, one day he was taking rest in that kutir in Chitrakoot. When he was taking rest, Mother Sita happened to come close to him and started massaging Lord Ram's feet. When Sita started massaging Lord Ram's feet, she happened to see something unusual. She saw that there were 2 thorns that were being pricked in the feet of Lord Ram. And she could make out that these thorns had been pricked long back, and still Lord Ram had not removed those thorns from his feet. So she thought, maybe should I try removing those thorns from Lord's feet? But she thought maybe Lord Ram will get disturbed in his sleep. But still, she said, I can't bear seeing thorn being pricked in Lord Ram's feet. So she tried removing the thorn from Lord's feet. And while she was removing, Lord Ram immediately woke up. And Ram told her not to remove this thorn. And she said, why? Lord Ram said, you won't understand. But she insisted, I want to really know, who are these thorns that you are refusing to take away from your lotus feet? Lord Ram said, they are my devotees. And because they are my devotees, I do not want them to go away from the shelter of my lotus feet. But they are a different kind of devotee. They are that type of devotee who does not really obey me or obey my orders. But still, they want to remain at my lotus feet. So the pain of seeing them going away from my lotus feet is more than just seeing them not behaving properly but still remaining at my lotus feet. So I prefer them to still keep them at my lotus feet. This is what is at least my condition, where I'm like a thorn, but still somehow we have been tricked by the Lord to come here and engage in His service. Lord has still accepted us. And in actuality, it's not the Lord's trick. It's not that Lord is trying to canvass. It's not that Lord wants somebody in His spiritual abode to broom or to mop. No, there are thousands of Lakshmiji who are just waiting in queue just to get Lord's attention. They're just trying to broom that place which is so clean. So it's not Lord's trick, but it's Lord's great kindness that He has brought us and He's keeping us here. So we are not doing any upkar on the Lord. Spiritual life or devotion services is not a burden, but it's a privilege that has been awarded to us. And we are very happy that we are being tricked by the Lord. Otherwise, in this world, constantly the living entity is being tricked, tossed up and down by Maya. In fact, when the Lord tricks His devotee, He's willing to get tricked by His devotee. In Vrindavan we see that when the gopis are telling Krishna to dance, Krishna is willing to become a dancing puppet or a dancing doll in the hands of His devotees. So this is the only hope that we have. If we can somehow, it's not a trick, but it's a great mercy that has come upon the Lord, come upon us by the Lord, that we are here in His service. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Sorry if I've spoken anything wrong. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.